Hey guys, today I'm going to be cleaning up my HK project, just like in the title. I've been having this window opened, which is actually in my HK thing, and then we do tree into less, and we end up having a file tree. So these are almost, pretty much, all of the files that I have for on a hotkey. So naturally, with these many files, I will have something that's actually not something that I need anymore. So I'm going to be going through my project and deciding what to delete, what to refactor, and so on. So let's start, I guess, in abstractions base. No, not directives, in abstractions. So this is along like a very old thing, and I still agree with the idea of it. Essentially, it's abstractions for very simple stuff like copying, pasting, WinPaste we can see here, but I agree with the idea still. However, I'm not as like insane over arrow functions anymore. So like if they're multi-line, I mean, if they are a single line, then yeah, obviously I even think you should use an arrow function. But for multi-line, I thought it was like cool and nice, but there's really no reason. Okay, so let's delete that. Select all and delete all. Now, select all I probably have somewhere, but delete all, that sounds like something I probably don't use at all. So let's delete all into less and see if we have anything. And indeed, I only use it here, so nowhere. I feel like it's not necessarily, how should I call it, reliable. In some apps, maybe you send Control A and then immediately delete, but the selection processes in a very long time, so it doesn't actually delete all. That's my guess. Now, undo and redo I probably do use, but let's just check. So undo. Yeah, and I do on my mouse. Like if I hold down the X button 1, I think, and then scroll my wheel, of course, it undoes or redoes, which I find like actually useful sometimes. Well, since I use Vim, Control Z and Control Y isn't really the thing. They're not very understandable in terms of you don't know how many you need. And with Vim, if you make a change, let's type some text right now. This is a single change. And once you learn how this works, it actually becomes very like understandable how many undos you need, which is why I like it more. Hello, whoever is watching me. And actually, I should remember to open this stream on my phone so I can read comments immediately as soon as they appear. Now, I need to find one of my 5 actually accounts that, here we go, has the stream on recommended. Brilliant. Okay. Cool. Got the chat now perma-visible for me. So select all, undo, redo, close tab. Close tab, I'm pretty sure I use somewhere. Oh, I actually might even know exactly where. And here we have it. So it's a hotkey for the browser. Pressing Alt W is far nicer to me than Control W. Like, if I pressing Control with your left hand and then also pressing a left hand key is very uncomfortable to actually do, which is why usually when I Control C, Control V, Control W, Control anything on the left side, I use the right control. But then, if I don't have my right hand for some reason, maybe it's on the mouse, it begins to be very, like, it's impossible pretty much to press those keys, which is why I have a lot of them on my mouse. Okay, so close tab, new tab. Now I don't actually think I use that, but I might. I don't know. Yep. No, I do. Huh. The more you know. Next tab and yeah. Next win and prev win. That's interesting. I am almost positive I don't use them. This doesn't sound like a fun stream, does it? Me just going, do I use that? No, I guess I don't. For like 3 hours or however many hours. Oh, actually, since we're using regex, we can do something cool. So what if next or prev how do we do this? I think like this. And then no. Oh, I can just undo it. I'm pretty sure, no, you can undo in your usual shell. And the hotkey for that is Control Shift dash or hyphen or underscore, which is very, like, why? Why that? Out of all the keys you could have used possibly. Wait, YS inside big word, cover it, and double quotes. Actually change them to single quotes, and we should be good. Let's see if it works how I think it does. Yeah, it's as I saw. It's as I thought. It's as I thought. I don't use them. So choose next. Wow, that's hyper specific. Switch language. I recently made a video on this class, which instead of, well, using Windows space, the built-in hotkey, instead of that, it uses some DLL calls, I think, and post messages to change your language. So that's how I do it regardless. So I don't think I use it anywhere. Shift click and control click. See how hyper specific some of my abstractions are. For the time, they made sense, to be fair. Now I wonder if I still need them. Let's change. Oh, yeah, right. Can't do that in shell. What do I want? Shift click. Shift, or rather, let's do it the smart way again. So shift or control and then click. Control click. Yeah, the built-in command is actually full-on control click, but this function that I have is CTRL click, technically. Okay, so let's run this. No, I don't use it. No, I do not use it. It's just similar naming, but I otherwise don't use it, and I don't see why I would at this point. Find. I don't remember. Oh, I thought it was gonna be Twitch. Hello. No, I stream on YouTube. I feel like if I streamed on Twitch, I would get even less viewers, and the people who enjoy my content, well, they already watch it on YouTube, so they might be subscribed, and they're like scrolling through their YouTube page and like, oh, Axel Fullblur is streaming, I might as well come in, rather than separating that. But I have found some annoyances from streaming on YouTube. For example, one day I just decided to turn on some music, and the music that I listen to is pretty unknown, meaning maybe it is copyrighted, but like it's so small to the point that I know some of the people making that music and I've talked to them. Yeah. So all of this, I'm pretty sure none of this would get like copyright striked because it's so unknown. Yet, when I played that music, my stream fucking died. Twice, actually. I made sure it was the reason. But you know what's funny? YouTube didn't say to me that, oh, you were banned. It didn't say anything about it. My stream just died randomly, specifically when I started playing music. And then when I stopped, my stream was alive again. So I am incredibly confused over how. Yeah, I would imagine. The genre that I like the most right now is called necro trap. Um, yeah, it's amazing. Basically, it's a very dark type of genre, which has still like a part of fun to it, a part of like a gory kind of feel, filled with gunshots, slice sounds, whatever else you can put that is aggressive into a track. That's all part of necro trap, and I just love that shit. When I was going through a very difficult period in my life, genres like that, or more specifically, at that point, it was trap metal overall, and necro trap somewhat fits into the overall genre of trap metal. Basically, that helped me a lot to. Jesus, I sure decided to search for something that nothing else would have. Pretty stupid, I think. So hold up. Yeah, basically that genre helped me a lot to go through very difficult parts of my life. The genre I listen to is called You Demon. I could not. I just literally could not. Like, let me show you more precisely how I listen to music. And the way I do it is by having, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not gonna count all of them. I have 50 playlists. You know why? Because I have 5,340 songs. And I'm not the type of person that's gonna listen to a track and I'm kind of like about it, but I'm like, oh sure, like I'll add it, whatever. No, I'm actually like very strict. There's like one single thing that I don't particularly like in a track, and I just won't add it. And I remove tracks from my library very easily. It's just that I listen to so much new music that I've now found this many. I wonder if like I could turn on some of that, but I don't want my stream to end like unexpectedly because it breaks. Still unsure why. So yeah, basically like I'm somewhat of an elitist with music. Like let me be fair. Oh, you don't listen to fucking trap metal. You know, that kind of type. Which I understand is not particularly attractive, but yeah, I very much like the genre. I don't think. Well, let's actually think about this. How often do I try to find something, and how often is it Control F? In the browser, I just press. Yeah, I know, right? 5K. It took some years, but over time, I collected that many. Let me actually show you favorites. Yeah, so this is the lists of artists that I specifically like, and I have 144 of them. Used to be about twice as many, but I recently cleaned it up, removed a bunch of artists that I don't consider that I like anymore. For example, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I removed Lil Darky. Love him, like amazing artist, very important part of my life as well. Just at this point, he's just kind of boring. compared to the other guys in the scene, he's just kind of boring, you know? And Corpse, I'm pretty sure, went out even faster because he's just lame. Like, I'm sorry, Corpse fans, but he's lame. He's just lame. WinTab, I'm pretty sure I've never used. Save, believe it or not, I have. Change side word and save. And once again, we should see a lot of things. But I think in mouse or something of that nature. Yeah, look at this. I have a hotkey that saves. Like, you could say, well, why instead of just having a whole dependency of a file, why not just send Control S? This is more declarative. Like, for pretty much any person, it's already understandable that you can press Control S to save. However, that's not the case in every app. And if you use a function that says save, you can be sure that once you call it, you will actually save, rather than just sending Control S, which in the terminal, for example, we will do a different thing. Yeah, it's like a pretty niche, I guess, portion of music that I've gotten like very invested in. I've actually used to make music as well. Yeah, like I recorded a few tracks in the genre of trap metal, and yeah, they were public, like on all platforms. Even now, if you Google Axel Fulber, you might actually see some of my songs, or rather the remnants of them, because they should be deleted at this point. But maybe eventually I'll show them off. They're both cool and cringe at the same time. They hold a lot of sentimental value to me. Okay. So yeah, this is the reason why I use functions for something this apparently simple, because it makes sure that if you call save, you actually save, rather than just send Control S. Kinda different, you know? Restore tab, I'm pretty sure I used delete word. Now that's actually interesting. I don't remember. Delete word. Yeah, I do use it in Auto Hotkey, the Explorer, and even the terminal. However, it uses a different delete word, which is Control W. And, well, yeah, actually you can see it right there, defined in the terminal app thing. Currently, I'm doing the opposite of working on something. I'm cleaning up my project, deleting a bunch of stuff that I haven't been needing for a while, or maybe collecting ideas what I should refactor if I do still use it. Like, my project is huge. If we look at, I have 150 files in my HK repository, which is just crazy. So yeah, I want to make that number go down. So delete word I do indeed use. Select word I pretty sure I don't. Delete line. I think that was a remnant of my attempt. Yeah, I used to bind Alt HJKL to arrow keys, but now I have a whole separate mode for them. Oh, right, and I should toggle screencast mode so you can actually see what keys I'm pressing. So right now I'm pressing J and K, but if I enable Vim mode, they will be seen as arrow keys. So now I just have a straight up mode for them. So in that previous attempt of doing the same thing, I used to have delete line, I guess, and I haven't been using it for a while. Yep, exactly. Trying to see what I still need and what I don't, because some things which sound maybe useful, like delete in direction, and there's like some code here even, I'm like, should I delete it? Maybe I use it somewhere. And grep is so nice because I can just very easily search for it. Delete in direction. And yeah, as I thought, I don't use it. And damn, by the way, the thing that I just used is implemented by me. There's no such motion, no such text object in Vim by default. Oh, I remember this time where I used to use capital letters for keywords. Depth Trawler actually still does that, I'm pretty sure. And when I first saw this, I was like, god damn, yeah, I should stop doing that. Because static, for some reason, still felt to me like a lowercase thing, same as local and global. But switch and case were fine for some reason, as well as class. But now, like every keyword, I leave to be lowercase. Because if we, wait, oh, what am I doing? Oh, I see, damn. I don't get it. Do you get it? I don't understand what just happened. So if we try to type in static, you can see the auto suggestion from the auto hotkey extension. It's in lowercase. If you type class, same thing. Which is weird because there is a class named class and I doubt it. So yeah, class is also lowercase. What else do we have? Case as well, default. So every keyword in the what am I looking for? In the AutoHotkey extension is lowercase by default, so going against that is just annoying. Yeah, fair enough. I feel like leaving the uppercase, or more specifically Pascal case, for functions, for class names, and so on, makes sense rather than also for keywords, especially considering that most languages, if not all languages, use lowercase keywords like by default. And there you can't have them uppercase usually. So yeah, I agree, absolutely. Okay, so technically I can commit from VS Code, but recently I've just been really liking doing it on the terminal. So let's gam. It doesn't do me justice because it took so long to open, but to be fair, on VS Code that would be the same case. It will also take a long time to open. So yeah, neither is particularly better or worse, so I use both of them depending on my mood, I guess. So remove unused functions from base, and the other stuff, hold up, what did I do in registers? Ooh, that's actually an important change that I want to make explicit. Okay, let's actually undo the commit and then git reset to unstage all of them, and then let's get add registers. And for registers I can gm because added uppercase Russian characters. Yeah, add, of course, because that's how you commit. Still kind of weird, but got used to it. The only time I uppercase is for naming schemes like 2 words. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do as well. For me, I camel case. This casing is called camel case. I camel case variables, Pascal case, so starting from the like uppercase letter, functions and types, meaning class names in AHK. Yeah, and some other more specific rules, which are overly specific and hard to explain sometimes. Like for example, I make fields in classes uppercase if you're supposed to just set a value to them. But if you're not supposed to change them, they're lowercase. Which is weird. It's not even that I'm separating them by private or public. It's by does have a setter or not. They all do. I just try to explain that you're not supposed to, because HK doesn't actually give you tools to decide that for yourself. So add uppercase Russian characters. Let's open all changes from here. What else do we have? This. Spotify should also be separate. Git add Spotify, and that's just app. Okay. And then GM update coordinate for, what is it called? For playlist sorter. Playlist sorter. X. Yeah, X coordinate for playlist sorter. Okay. We commit that, and everything else we just commit together, because some changes are really like whatever. Don't care. So let's name this commit remove unused functions from base. Cool. I really like having a lot of commits. If you go to my GitHub page, look at most days, or quite often, a lot of days basically, you'll see that has like 50 commits. 50 commits? I like having them small, like ridiculously small. Because then if I want to get reset to some commit, it's far more modular, instead of, oh, if I get reset, a bunch of stuff gets added to it and gets very annoying, rather than if your commits are small. Get file times is a very very recent thing. I have no issue with it, so it's okay. Get pick size as well. Media actions. Abstractions mouse. Now let's look at it, because it does have some issues. If you look at this, you're like probably gonna think, well, it's a bit weird, and to a point it is. Yeah, I used to do that as well, and I stopped somewhat recently, maybe like 2 months ago, maybe 3. And it also, like, I commit way more often now, because I actually use the tools that Git provides to me. Like now, Git resetting soft to head, that is something that I do now, when before I just didn't. And having small commits makes this whole process a lot better. So for mouse, hold if up. Hold the mouse. Oh yeah, I do use that. So basically in my Vim mode, if I use Windows and then W or E or R, it starts holding down some key. So Windows R started holding down the left key, which is why there's that circle around. And then if I move my mouse, you can see that it still like holds down the left key. I press Windows R again and it stops. So I can use my Vim mode to do something like opening a window, and although I have a separate thing for this, which is much better, but just for example, I can Windows R and then go like, and just move it. But I usually don't. You know why? because I have a separate thing that it does exactly that, but better, which is called Window Manager, I think, right? Window, yeah, just Window Manager. Key hooks? No, not necessarily. Just a way to call the same function to either hold down a mouse button or release it. So much simpler than doing something like key hooks, depending on what you mean by that. I don't like this empty line here. That's the only change that I want to make. Click, then go back. Such a goofy function. Ooh, right. I don't often write comments for my things, but when I do, I should at least make them correct. So let's DA capital W, paste it here, and then CS this. I guess not, CS this. Oh wow, it works. I did not expect that. And here we go, we actually specified the type correctly. Okay, I'm gonna be on the lookout of that. Yeah, just that. Haven't done that for other keys because I don't think I need to. Cool idea. No idea why it's useful though. Like with many things that come into your mind. Sometimes you just make something because it's cool with no purpose. And I love that. Now, this, I don't know if I use ever. Like click then go back, sure, but click then go back event, I don't know. So let's check that out, I guess. Into less once again. I do. Oh yeah, I guess I do. So Telegram, the messaging app, for some reason you can't use control click to click the button to send the voice message. So you have to use the send event to send a click, which is why? Like, why? Oh. And I accidentally opened it. I almost shit my pants because Telegram is like the #1 app I shouldn't ever open on stream. And let's actually go to my Win hotkeys, go to Alt-T, comment it out, and same for the mouse. No, not this mouse, but mouse hotkeys, which should be app actions, and then, yeah, or actually just capital L and GCC, and I don't particularly care. There's going to be committed along with everything else. Yeah, that's gonna be just a separate commit where I uncomment Telegram. So this is so I make sure I can't open it right now. So yeah, it's opening Discord because it's on the right. And I did it in a way, in a nice way, but in the other, very annoying. Because I can't use the hotkey to close a window until it loads after me using the thing, because it occupies the thread, and I usually want that, but sometimes I don't. Very weird. So in terms of mouse, oh yeah, so I do use click then go back event. What are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? Mouse in abstractions, coordinates, right? So let's also move this here and then CS this to capital B, and here we have coordinates. Yeah, and control click here. This sounds useful but could be unused. And yeah, what am I doing? Like, I'm a Vim user. I should just copy this and then go here and then, oh, right, it does that. What are you? So Fish has this actually amazing feature. When you press B in Vim mode, you go not the full word, but the camel cased word. And GE just doesn't work. So what I expected from it just doesn't work. So I use that on Spotify. Yeah, let's actually figure that out. It's simple enough where it doesn't need multi-threading, like at all. It just could be set on a timer, or I could just remove the win weights and win weight actives in my win class. But I just don't. I'm still unsure why. Why I still like cling onto it. So I have yet to come into a situation where I thought, yeah, I actually need multi-threading here. Never. It's probably just a matter of what I usually do, rather than it being useless. Like, no, it's not useless. But usually I really don't need it. I'm still like very much surprised that it works like I think it does. So CS this into this. I thought that it worked only for some things. Like change this character that is surrounding whatever I'm in into something else. I thought it only covered some characters, but not all of them. But turns out. And also let's remove the goofy ah. I do this by muscle memory, straight up. Okay. The change is small enough. Well, do I want to make 150 commits, kinda, today? Or do I want to separate them a bit? I do see how if I work on another file right now, and then I realize that, oh, actually, no, I want to reset it to head, then I guess I can just reset that file to head, right? Yeah, okay, well, so far I'm gonna continue on the same commit, but we'll see if I eat my words. So registers script, oh right, this definitely has some useless stuff, or not useless, just something they don't use, which is kind of similar, but not exactly that. So hard reload, which I'm pretty sure doesn't work anymore. It used to work at some point, but now it doesn't. Reload, I think I use, right? Let's actually search for something more specific. Script this reload. Yeah, I just straight up use it in a hotkey. Yeah. Earlier in the stream, that's how I got them. I have a function that counts all of the files for the hotkey that I have. Yeah, 150. Like if I make a commit per file. So if it's like minor changes that are very simple, I'll keep them in the same commit, I think. But if it's something more refactory, then I'll separate them. Sounds like it makes sense. So suspend, do I even have that? How would I, this? No. Do I even have a hotkey for that? Like, I wouldn't know, because I never suspend. Now you might say that, well, why even have a hotkey for it then? Because it can potentially be useful. Maybe if I ever decide to play a game, wow, imagine me playing games. I'm on that Sigma grind set. No games. Okay, I have a question for you, chat. Would you rather have unlimited bacon but no games, or games? Unlimited games but no games. Choose. If anyone got that reference, I'm gonna shit myself. Easily, actually. Let me show you. So, suspend, we have this variable is suspended, and if it is, then unsuspend it, I guess, and do the thing that we just saw that shows me the current state, which I should update to state bulb, but I never use it, so I don't care. Like, I never suspend. Or if it's not suspended, then suspend it. And then if we go to exempt, yeah, suspend exempt, we have this directive. Basically, these hotkeys stay true even if you suspend your script, which is why I can make this hotkey. Oh, wait. Oh, did I suspend? Yeah, I did, lol. I love that shit. What are you talking about? It's such a funny meme. And the fact that they do it in every episode, hilarious. Although the recent change, when they start like gaslighting the guest in a mean way, I don't particularly like it. Nope, it isn't. It just straight up doesn't exist in V1. The only way you could do it in V1 is just by making, like, yeah, make the hotkey, and only this, I think. Oh, no, not reload, suspend, and then you, I think, pass -1 or something of this nature. Basically, only this would work, because it's a direct hotkey to that command, but you can't do any logic. You can't do something like what I'm doing here. Wow, that is starting to get into my muscle memory. That's cool. So yeah, you can't do logic in V1 if you want to suspend at all. It's just not gonna work. In V2 though, you can, and it's up to you. V2 is incredible. I've been saying it for probably a year at this point. If not more, actually. I wonder when I actually switched, though. Run as admin. Wow, that's an old one. And this, I'm pretty sure, is the only sleep in my in my like HK thing. So sleep. Let's see how many I have. So this is the first one. This UIA is not mine, so it doesn't really count. And CMD has sleep. So I have 3 sleeps in my project of, once again, 150 files. I hate sleep. Can you? In V1? You can attach a function body to a hotkey. No, I mean that a hotkey in V1 is only suspend exempt if it directly is suspend -1. Anything else, it will just not be suspend exempt. It will work like any other hotkey that will be suspended if you suspend your script. So no logic. Like, if you could just give a function, then yeah, it would be a different case because, well, no matter. But it has to be direct. Like, it's that shit. Like, that bad. So run as admin. I think I don't use run at actually script run as admin. Yeah, so I thought. Yeah. You did. I wonder how I can safely open that. Well, let me see. Either my phone updates very slowly or you haven't yet. Jesus. Yeah, that's better shown. I hope you don't mind me showing that on stream. Like, why is it not maximum? Like, why? Pretty sure. Well, I guess I don't, huh? The folder specified. You don't say. Wow. I'm so disappointed with Windows. Like, isn't that the sort of thing you have to think of? Fucking dumbass. So disappointed. Okay, so Jesus Christ. No, just no. I would rather not. I do not consent to that code. Fuck no. It's like, sure, it's engineering at its best, because at its worst at the same time. Write file. Where is that? I don't use this often, but why did you fail? I feel like I will eventually switch to NeoVim purely. Because of random stuff like that. Actually, this doesn't take that much time. Oh, so it's an abstractions text. Okay. So, paths, toggle info. And then abstractions text. See, that's the thing. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. I actually don't remember the last time I used a ternary operator. It's barely ever, like, appropriate, is what I find. Okay, so aside from that, we have test. I use that. Run tests, which I also do, and exit tests. Okay, so script is done. What do we have here? A bunch of stuff, actually. How do I call this? Clean up script. Okay, let's gam to git add and commit. Clean up mouse script. And I don't really need to specify what exactly, because that information is just known. Yeah, doesn't seem too bad. Not making a commit for every single thing, but grouping some of them together. The only use is in V1, since the command's opposed to functions. Yeah, it's true. And I actually used to make a few commands into functions to be able to use ternary. Commands are so annoying to work with. Stuff like error level, for example, is just sad. While in V2, you can like have nicer syntax because you get to choose it pretty much. Nicer formatting rather than syntax. So script, what else do we have here? Some lock hint. I do use toggle info, but some lock hint I don't think I use. It used to be the indicator for me turning on or off num lock, caps lock, and scroll lock. Yeah, it's... Why does it exist still? The V2 syntax is just so nice. It is. V1 is a glorious chaotic mess. You know, I see a lot of people like call it glorious. I don't even like it for the meme, like honestly. I just see V1 and I wanna cry. And I've used Vim script. However much I don't want to say it, sure, V1 is better than Vim script, but what isn't? But still, V1 is just... it's sad. Very much don't like it. Where was I? Some lock hints. So, when I suspended stuff, so this thing can also appear for when I change my caps lock, num lock, or scroll lock. But now I use state bulb, so I don't think I need some lock hint at all. Some lock hint. So let's actually check out if that is true. Because maybe I use it. Oh wow, really? Why do I use some lock hint instead of state bulb? Oh, hold up. Because I implemented state bulb into some lock hint. I see. That's valid. Where else do I use it? For caps lock. Okay. No questions about it then. I thought it was useless, but I actually refactored it without even noticing, really. Text is useful, but I think I have, like, why do you fail again? Why? And now I have to restart my extensions in VS Code. I moved my microphone even closer to my mouth, so now you can probably very audibly hear me vaping. Sorry if that annoys you. You're welcome if you like it. All I can say. So, compress spaces. I don't think I need it anymore because I use Vim actually. Compress spaces. I use it once. Okay. Wait, where? So in shows, naturally, compress, validate set input. Huh. So if I do like episode, and then I watched like, I don't know, 780 episodes of One Piece, basically, if I specify it like this, it won't care, which is cool. Let's actually see how many I have actually watched. Almost exactly that, 774 episodes of One Piece and some more downloaded, ready to go and to watch. I was just thinking that, but I don't know. I don't care. I remember when I was learning English, could not for the life of me figure out the difference between IDC and IDK, but then I obviously did. Hell yeah, fuck yeah. Very, very useful. So I guess I need it still. But really often in the past, I used to have HK functions to operate on text that I'm working on, but now I just use Vim for that. Regex is glorious. Like, regex I can call glorious. I call it the bad but solution. Very often, if you feel like you need to use regex, your solution is subpar. You might disagree with me on this at first, but look at this. This is a function that gets weather, and to my defense, it still works after a lot of time, but I'm just getting the HTML page of the weather page, and it rejects out the values that I need. I mean, if it works, and it surprisingly still does. Yeah, everything else here is needed. Window manager, yeah, that is good. Now, on app. App, I feel like will have a lot of now useless stuff. For example, there is the class for FL Studio, and I haven't used it in a long ass while, and I don't think I will return. Oh my god, please don't. Do not. At least not in fucking batch. In V1, it's like, at least it's not batch, you know? Still, it's so crazy they did that. Although, to be fair, me, like half a year ago, maybe a year ago, yeah, I would do something like that. Now I'm far more reserved. So, auto hotkey. Right, I've been thinking of changing this because a lot of stuff here since the version released, the folder path will no longer change, which is very cool. I don't use v1. Process exe, fair enough. Exe title. Okay, so first of all, actually, yeah, let's just search for everything that contains auto hotkey to see. Oh, Jesus. So everywhere except the auto hotkey file itself, and that, and JSON, and hklib. Wait, is that an icon? I guess. Huh. Wow. And it's an SVG. Let's open this link. What's in it? Oh. Oh. Well, what did I expect? Today I learned. Which is funny because I have this in my links, but you can just have the SVG of the icon. What, hey? What the fuck is hh.exe? Oh, I imagine it's this. Yeah. Huh. You live and you learn, I guess? So, I don't use v1 anymore, and I have this class here for v1. Why? Good question. I don't need it. And in the same case, I don't need setup group. Oh, and setup group, by the way, it's made the hk underscore exe or hk underscore group for both hk docs, but I no longer need that. Or this. So we'll come back to delete where I actually use that group. But for now, let's see what else uses that. In paths, I don't. Post load. So AutoHotkey path, that is used. Makes sense. Oh. Wait, no way. Is there nothing else? And it's not scrolling. Cool, 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 cool. Perfect. Amazing. Incredible. Really? I am very much surprised. What about in Quarter? There is a thing that opens the docs. Why did that not appear? I don't get it. I'm probably the only person who knows the regex step limit. Jesus. If you write regex like that, I think you shouldn't. Well, I've seen your regex specifically, and goddamn, good job. I don't know regex half as good as you do. I can imagine. But Jesus. Guys, how about we just don't use regex? Like, since this point, just remove it. You know, I'm looking at my viewers rather, and I remember one stream I had -1 viewers. Bro, -1. That's what you get for streaming on YouTube. You get -1 viewers. That is still the most hilarious stuff. Unsure, though, why it's like didn't display it. Or maybe, no, I'm in the correct place. Yeah, I don't know. Just straight up don't know. Or maybe, right, because it uses a lowercase letter. It shouldn't, by all accounts. But maybe this is not the only place where I forget that. So let's add the I flag to grep, skip everything in the AutoHotkey file, and in JSON, and in hklib, scr, tech, oh, it's a note, okay. Paths, also don't care. AutoHotkey, ooh, that's actually a useful place to look at. Specifically in AutoHotkey docs, or while in an AutoHotkey window. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is, oh, I guess like this. Just specify AutoHotkey docs rather than AutoHotkey docs of v2. It's not like I'm gonna be using v1 ever. I hate it probably more than anything else. You know what else I hate? The fact that my voice gets tired very easily. Like, I'm barely talking. Maybe it's because of I'm speaking in English and there's like still, even though I've done it a lot. It requires more effort than Russian. Maybe that. Or maybe it's because I don't speak that much on the day-to-day basis. Okay, so yeah, so we removed that home of the hotkey, key quarter. It's only used once. In groups, yes, let's go to groups. Remember that this line was also in this file at the end, and I just didn't consider that. So now it only has one group, which is good. Okay, what else? In post load, that's okay. Sound player. So I guess that's it. I include auto hotkey in win and runner, yet I don't use them, so I should go there to remove that thing. Jesus, that's so much stuff. Auto, yes, this, and the same thing in the CR win. Oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Well, to be fair, I haven't been streaming in a while, too. Nice to see ya. So, I'm deleting stuff, essentially. Deleting stuff, the stream. What feels even better than writing code is deleting code. God, I love it. Like, it's the best thing you can do. Write code that you can later delete. That's what I think. So I don't need this window or this one. This I should actually dt dot to make it more general. Not specifically the v2 docs, but the docs, because they are going to be v2. I don't need this include either. Okay, and this can also be closed. So this is going to be a separate commit because it touches on so many files. So we have exit title of the docs overall, and then more specifically the win title of v2 docs and the path to them. Okay, so first of all, we just delete these lines and then dedent them. Or is it outdent? I think it's outdent. So now we have exit title. Then win title, then path, and instead of super, no, actually I'll keep super. I feel like it makes a lot of sense here. And we just create the window object of the current win title and path. So that's the only change, and if I reload my script, nothing breaks. I guess it doesn't. Cool, let's commit this. How should I call this? Remove v1 from the ability. No, not ability. Remove v1 from the list of HK docs. I think this makes sense. Pretty good. Now we can continue on to the next thing. Browser. Browser probably has a bunch of shit. Yeah, I switch around Microsoft Edge, and it's actually a good browser. Like, guys, really, like a surprisingly good one. I like it better than, well, I like it better than Google Chrome. I don't know if I like it more than Mozilla Firefox. I think I do. But more specifically, I pick Edge because it uses less RAM than Firefox for me, which is like crazy, to be fair, but that's the case. Search tabs. I think I have browser. Yeah, I have Control P to search my tabs, but I've just yet to use it. I just use alt numbers. Well, I guess if you don't use something after implementing it, ever, do you need it? No. Well, here you go. Info, do I use that somewhere? I don't. Let's remove that. Press, I don't think I use here as well. Base, I use. VK. Oh, press I do use, lol. VK I don't use. And app browser, of course, naturally. Edge isn't bad. I'm not worried about RAM, but I would probably use Firefox over it. Okay. I've tried Firefox and it has a very very cool animations and overall user experience, but I don't even remember why I liked Edge more still. But I do remember explicitly liking Edge more. Let me get my water, and now I don't actually have to go away for that big of a distance because I have a new filter right in my room, so I don't have to go outside as much. It's almost like ASMR. Okay, got some water now. Maybe I'm just using my voice in such a way that is specifically tiresome. Like, if I speak Russian, I don't really have to care, you know? But if I speak English, well, it's my second language. So I try a bit more, and that puts strain on my voice or something. Because, like, I feel like at this point, only my voice getting tired is the reason, like, I could stream less. Simply because I can't speak, rather than because I don't want to. Did you finish cleaning Runner? Because that was something I wanted to know more about. It's so useful and cool. No, actually, I haven't gotten to it yet. And we're going to get to it. So, browser. Yeah, we can now delete search tabs. Run link. Honestly, underrated. Like, so underrated. Because it's a very useful function. Basically, sometimes when you use run to run a link, sure, it runs, and then your browser just blinks orange instead of actually opening. Well, this makes sure that it actually does. Very simple, but very useful function. Oh, right. Because I decided that using UIA for your browser is just a lost cause. Okay, browser, DaVinci. DaVinci meaning DaVinci Resolve. Win title, project title. Path, close window, all of that I feel like is good. Close, insert, yeah, all of that is good. What about the hotkeys? Fair enough. That's all it is. I know, right? Based run link. For real. I think I'm putting a lot of weight on my voice. And it's like a habit that I got. So, if English is your second language, you will probably get into some like terrible habits in terms of speech to make it easier for myself. Like a long time ago, to make myself more comfortable to actually speak, I used to like give a lot of weight to my voice, so it like sounded very opaque. I can only use the word opaque to it, like very low, scrunchy, I guess. And for some reason, it was easier for me to talk that way, and I need to unlearn that because it's putting so much strain and it's annoying. It's just annoying. Okay, we got through browser, DaVinci, now Discord. Okay, what do we have here? What? Oh. I mean, it's a useful comment, I just don't like having comments. Okay, I will still keep it though. I don't think I use methods for emoji or GIF anymore. So let's search for Discord dot emoji. Oh, actually, yeah, let's do it even cooler. YS inside big word in single quotes. We go to emoji, we YSE B, go to B, and then emoji or GIF, and we can actually see the other things. I think these 6 I actually do use. I'm pretty confident on that. And yeah, wait, hold up. I don't believe that. Mood, you're good at rejects. What did I do wrong? I don't know if it's just easier for me to speak lighter, but that might be because 1, English is my language. I just have a deep voice. Yeah, that makes sense. I think what comes as a factor for me as well is the fact that I'm trans, and for the longest time in my life I was trying my hardest to fit into the role of a man, so I was working on making my voice lower. So it's a habit from that as well, and now I really don't have to do it. Oh, it's the same with the capital E flag. It's the same rejects as usual rejects. Well, almost. Here it is. So basically what I want to search for is Discord dot and then either emoji or GIF. I'm not sure what the syntax is supposed to be. Comments are useful for your future audience when you get big. Yeah, it's true. I love comments. Like, out of all of the stats that I see on my channel, comments are the most wanted. So if you ever watch my video and you're like, I have like some thought, some comment that I could leave, but you're like, it's like whatever. No, please leave it. Like, brightens up my day hugely. So yeah, here it is. Streaming lets me talk for a lot, so I'm gonna be like practicing speaking in a bit of a different way, where I put less strain on my voice, because I've been doing that by pure habit. There doesn't appear to be a syntax error, and I'm assuming you don't need anchors as well. What the fuck is an anchor? What the fuck is an anchor? Oh, you mean like the slashes. Yeah, you don't. Like pull up a file, has Discord emo. That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm trying to look for those files. And do you have the I flag on? I just removed it, but the last time I tried it out with the I flag, it didn't work. The thing... Oh. Oh, yeah, fair enough. It just means that I don't use them, because I expected that, oh, if the regex works, that means that it will show at least these two, and then others, and will only show these two if I don't use them anywhere. But they don't fucking start with Discord dot. So it was me who's confused. The syntax actually is correct. I was just stupid. I wonder if for the average viewer actually actively seeing the stats when you're watching the stream, and well, while I pull up this window, I wonder if like that changes the perception of the stream in any way. I feel like it might. To me, it could have. There's a difference between zero match groups and invalid rejects. And also backflow error. You're using so many words that it take me a lot of time to understand. What the fuck is a backflow error? First time I'm hearing about it. Between zero match groups and invalid rejects. True, but I think in the shell, if nothing matched, it considers it an error, which is very useful. Because of like piping, anding, oring. Oring sounds terrible. Fucking oring. Like oars from One Piece. Is there a way to pull up the regex error level? No, not really. And yeah, not really. I don't think so. Maybe potentially there's some flag, but I don't know about it. So the best way would probably just be going to regex 1 and checking it there. But no, I think the syntax is correct. I just didn't realize that it was. Because yeah, there is indeed nothing in my project of that. No, like, it was me that was stupid, rather than rejects. So what do we have here? Yeah, everything should stay in the same way. Now, on to DS4. I don't even have it installed. So, DS4 Windows is a program to make your DualShock 4 work for Windows. I still have it lying, like collecting dust, because I don't play games. Oh, if you're talking about that, well, the error code is 1, meaning there was an error, but that's it. So that was the error. It's not particularly specific, so that's not helpful. So DS4 is very bare bones, as I can see. Only has paths, which I interestingly don't use here. And DS4, yeah, naturally doesn't have any hotkeys. Okay, let's continue on. Explore. Now this should be a huge thing. Win objects. Even if I don't use some of these, I feel like just having them at all is still something that I want. So I'm creating win objects for a bunch of folders. So we can do something like Alt D and then U to open my user thing, for example. And it should be somewhere here actually. Yeah, here it is. Well, I feel like, to me, if it fails, that's already enough, because that just means go to regex1 or regex 101, I don't remember. I don't particularly need it to tell me exactly what happened. Or rather, I don't expect it to. Now, FL Studio I just don't use, so just let's remove FL. And I don't have any hotkeys, so just remove it. And let's, just for the sake of things, search for FL. Close but actually. Interesting. Let's go to close but actually. That doesn't exist anymore. Let's do $4 DAA. And that should be it. So we have FL there, and also in the runner, surprisingly. I'm very much surprised that I have that on still. Oh, well. FL. Delete that. Cool. So this actually warrants a separate commit because I actually deleted a file, which is an important change. Docs says it manually sends an error saying the pattern was invalid. Really? That's surprising. Huh. Well, just to check that, let's search for GIF. Yeah, and there's nothing. So if there's nothing for GIF, there's definitely nothing for Discord GIF. Grab, color always. We search for FL. I deleted everything, so let's gam now. And it loads so stupidly slow, more so because I'm streaming, to be fair. What am I thinking of? Right. Remove FL. GIMP, I'm pretty sure, is just overall all good. Well, let's just check it out, if that's the case. Were we here already? Maybe. Perhaps. Once again, I include paths and not use them, which continues on to be interesting. Okay, but GIMP is done. We can now scroll. Git. Now Git might actually have a bunch of stuff that we might not need. Now technically, well, first of all, let's DAW, a different W, a capital one, and then 2H, CS this to capital B. But other than that, I cannot be bothered to actually refactor this method. Basically, what it does is you give it a file path starting at the repo name, and then what do we have there? Z shell rc. It turns it into a GitHub link, and then Go specifically goes to that link. Yeah, it works. So it's been working for a very long time, and I don't really want to touch it at all. It would take a lot of effort, and it's so many comments. Like annoyingly too many. Oh, and install HK library. I don't think I use ever now. But before I jump to any conclusions, I copied it so I can grep it and check out whether I use it anywhere. And of course, I used it in the runner. So I guess as we delete stuff, we'll also be deleting it from the runner. Install. Yes. It is. Runner. Yeah, I love the runner. Having your own terminal that does stuff, and Mood, you just took that idea and you drive it to the sky. Like, I would almost say you're putting in too much effort for something this, like, yeah, it's very useful, but to that extent, god damn. Like, for anyone that doesn't know, Mood is currently making the runner, but pretty much a whole entire shell with suggestions, color coding, and everything. I just have an input box. And that's really all I have ever needed. And it's already like very useful. I wish there was like a code action from the AutoHotkey extension that is like remove unnecessary includes, like C# has, for example, but it doesn't. Get GitHub, which is actually a separate thing. GitHub app. I can almost bet that I don't use this. Who is calling me? Just don't call me. One time, a bank called me and pronounced my entire dead name in full 3 times. 3! I hang up on that bitch and made a fucking complaint about her behavior. She laughed at me being trans. Fuck her. Yeah, that's... that almost makes it more impressive that you would subject yourself to that in V1. Yeah. Well, since I'm trans, we trans people, basically, we usually change our name. So the previous name that we were called, we call a dead name, because we essentially killed that person and we don't want them to exist. Which is why we call it a dead name, which I find so badass, actually. So yeah, like, she was from the bank, so she tried to confirm my identity, like that's okay, I understand that. So I said, technically yes, but call me Alisa. And she's like, what? With a very like laughy intonation. Fuck that. So disrespectful. Like, it's like, if you're transphobic, believe it or not, that's okay. Just play with me at the very least. If I'm your customer, like, I'm your customer, I should be allowed to be any amounts of weird, if you think that way, because at the end of the day, I'm the customer, I'm right, you should treat me with respect no matter what, with some exceptions obviously, but yeah. I'd assume Alisa is a pretty easy name. No, she wasn't like confusing it on accident. She was calling me my previous name, so my dead name, and didn't consider the name that I was like asking her to call me. Run the grep without the pipe to less. Might show the error. No, it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, so let's do that, sure. Nothing. Just as I thought. So yeah, now I don't answer calls from numbers that I don't have in my phone book, I guess, like saved. And that's funny because I cut my grandma from my life, so I don't have her number written in. So maybe she has been calling me, I just don't answer. I don't know then. I literally never use grep. You should though. It's so useful. I know that VS Code technically has something like that. Find in files, yeah. Like technically. But for some reason I found it so like annoying and difficult to use compared to grep, and now I always use grep. I even opened git bash to check. Install WSL, come on. Using the Linux shell is just the best part of it. The best part of Linux? No, actually, like I'm capping a bit. But maybe actually still some people could agree. I was gonna say the best part of Linux is the shell. And it's like incredible, especially if you can compare it to the Windows one. I have access to so many tools now at my disposal, thanks to Linux. Right, so what was I searching for? No, not this profile. So GitHub. Oh, hub dot profile, and yes with the I flag because I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a video, and I think that's the first video on my channel. Let's check. Yeah, first video on this channel. Cool. And yeah, by the way, this file is public. All of my channel links, my socials, my playlists, and even some of my unlisted videos are here in lib-v2 links, channel.ahk. Like, you can just find that very easily. So it turns out I don't need this entire file. So let's remove GitHub, but not the links, the app. I agree, bash is just better in every way. Exactly. And if you use fish, even better. Oh, less is a pager. So here I ran the command and it printed it to standard output. But what if it's more than a screen and it just prints a bunch of stuff, and now I have to scroll up to actually read it? That's very annoying. So I can instead pipe it into less, which is a pager, which lets me, like, it starts at the top and then you can scroll, which is why I use it always for output that could be potentially more than a page long. Yeah. At the end of the day, it is. The syntax of it just kind of enables you. I know the comparison. It's very similar to V2 versus V1. It's true that you can technically do anything in both. Almost. There are some exceptions where you can only do things in V2, but for the most part. But V2 is just makes so much more sense and is more approachable, where if you switch to V2, you just happen to make first of all, better code, more interesting code, and overall, you do more. Easier to config? Yes and no, actually. It's easier to write scripts in because it makes more sense. You don't have to, like, for POSIX compliant shells, what you just have to randomly, well, bash, not POSIX compliant, but bash based shells. What you have to remember is this, I think. This, you just have to know what these two random fucking symbols do. While in fish, it's this. And now it's a bit more understandable that this is a variable that holds the arguments that you pass to a function. And this idea repeats all over fish. Yeah, I don't like it. I very much don't like it. But in terms of easier to config, Z shell is the shell for idiots. And I'm not saying this is an insult really, because I was in the same camp and I think it's very much valid. It's a shell for people who really don't fucking care to figure out everything on their own, especially when they just start out. They just want to see the cool shell that they see like every developer pretty much use. If we, what is safe? This. Like if we go through here, basically this. If you just want to use that, it's very simple and easy to get it, because there are like a million tutorials which tell you first install Z shell, then install par level 10k, set it up, and here you go. And there's so much more Stack Overflow threads and stuff like that to make that work on Z shell. Isn't that the same in Z shell? Yeah, the $sign is still there. It's true, but I was more so talking about this character. So you have to know a few, and I think I have that in my notes. Bash something something, passing arguments. Yeah, so there's the question mark, which is the error code, 0. So basically a bunch of random characters or symbols that you have to know the meaning of. While in fish, there are actually variable names that are like a bit more readable and understandable immediately. So yeah, in Z shell, you can just go the easy stupid route and just install everything, and you have everything that you want, because there's just more information about Z shell compared to fish. Sure, is that some are you gonna post some V1 jank again? That shit scares me. So yeah, but in fish there's far less information from YouTubers and the like. So you're probably gonna start out having a more difficult time configuring fish than Z shell. Batch current folder. How is it worse? How is it worse? How did they do that? It's already not good in Bash, but they decided to make it even worse. That's terrible. Horrible and bad. That's what I think. Jesus. But yeah, so fish might be a more difficult thing to set up at first, because you don't, like, you try to Google fish, how do I do this thing, and you don't really get anything that immediately answers your question, when for Z shell you would probably find something. So in fish you actually have to read the docs to understand how you're supposed to do it more concretely. And it also isn't that apparently obvious that there's a power level 10k for fish. So the information isn't as widespread, which is why fish can be more difficult to configure for a beginner. But if you already understand shells, what to expect from them, what you can do in them, it's so much nicer because you actually have more power over your shell because you understand how it works a bit better. So yeah, now I use fish, like on main. Where were we? GitHub, which I deleted but haven't committed, right? Yes. Okay, let's gam. Yes, that's gonna be the entire commit message. I deleted GitHub. So, I mean, sorry, but I had to do it. Just delete GitHub entirely. Lossless cut is also something that I'm pretty sure I'll never need. It was not working how I expected it to. But just for shits and giggles, maybe I do use it somewhere. Oh, that's in the same file. So let's remove lossless cut. Oh, what am I doing? Lossless cut, and gam. I can do that in the same, at the same time. Delete, and then I can autocomplete it. I find it cool that on VS Code, even if a file was deleted, you still have access to it and you can even like change it and stuff. Like, that's so cool. If you accidentally delete something that you had opened in VS Code, you'll be able to retrieve it. Slack actually is something I'll have to delete because I no longer use it, or the course that I'm studying in no longer uses it. But who would figure that out? This actually means something. Drive, path only. Yeah, that's so not obvious. Instead of something like, I don't know, deer, or more like understandable PWD. Lol. That's not a thing. That's funny. What is untracked? No, please. Remove it. Good. Good. So far, I have made 8 commits. How are finding paths to files? FZF? Question mark. Yes, actually, FZF. So this is what I made. Basically, all of the files, recursively, in the current directory are now here. So when I press Ctrl A, I get all the files, and now I can search for them, and then actually press Tab to select multiple. I press Enter, and all of them are pasted in. So this is a several things thing. You say it exists, it shouldn't, and it doesn't. Good. Let's actually clear editor history. Yes. Now, actually, very important question. Did you just hear the sound effect that this window, I'm pretty sure, made? Like, very important for me to know, because I don't know. Try guessing what. I'm not even going to attempt to. Percent sign tilde dpnx0. That's a fucking username. It shouldn't be filled with meaning. Oh, you did. That's good to know. Okay, since I'm not in headphones and my, what are they called? Speakers. Yeah, they're disabled, so I'm gonna disable desktop audio so it doesn't play without me knowing how loud it actually is. Thank you for telling me. Okay, so let's get to it. So somewhere here I actually have the hotkey. So here's the fish hotkey to the function get current file. Let's go to functions, get current file. So with fish we replace the current command buffer, or no, we don't replace, we insert into the current cursor position what fpic dot returned, and we smush it. Already a lot of abstractions, right? Let's first look at smush. So smush replaces every new line with a space, and then if there are multiple spaces, I think it replaces them. Hold up, what does it actually do? I forgot, I just stole this code, to be fair. Oh, it removes trailing white space, I think. That's what it does, I guess. Drive and path and name and extension. I love this shit. And only. 0 for only. Jesus, whoever made that is mentally insane. Agreed. And you know who made that? Microsoft, so of course. But then they like turn around and make VS Code, an amazing fucking program. I don't understand this fucking company. And then they turn around again to pre-install TikTok on my system. TikTok. Like, no, I understand why it's a good idea, like obviously, but it's just so cringe. I don't even find TikTok particularly cringe. I think it's a good place for building communities, however weird they might be. But pre-installing that? God damn. So yeah, smush replaces every new line with a space, and then removes trailing white space. And the reason why we need to do that is if we pick multiple files in FZF, so tab, 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 I now selected 3 files, it will actually print them all, like each one of them on a separate line. So we combine all those lines into a single thing, just having spaces. Okay? Then fpic. Let's see the definition of fpic. So, fpic calls flist, and don't worry, I'm gonna get to it too. To which we pass the arguments that we passed to fpic. So there we passed a dot. So fpic and the current directory, meaning we flist in the current directory as well. Fucking TikTok. I love it. Not even the TikTok, like the way it's actually spelled, but TikTok. It's very funny. I love that. By the way, what that said is specifically only removing trailing white space. Use the POSIX name set to specifically space, and it just replaces all spaces at the end of the line with nothing. Yeah, that's what I got it meant. Usually stuff like that uses this, which will also remove tabs. And that's probably better, but why would I have tabs? I haven't ever came across a situation where I would, because basically I'm removing the automatic trailing white space that appears there. And it wouldn't automatically paste a tab there. So I think it's a situation which would never happen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would never happen. But if you use that function in more places than that, then yeah, it's probably a better idea to use it with your solution. Coming back, so we flist in the current directory. And I'm gonna spare you the struggle. Flist lists all of the files recursively in the current directory. So if we do flist dot, it just listed every single file that's in this directory, recursing into subdirectories as well. If we flist dot dot, well, I don't think there are any more files. And if I go up, it's gonna take too long. So basically you give it a directory and it lists all of the files in that directory, recursing into it. We can also use dlist to list all of the directories of the current directory, and here we have it. So fpic, first of all, lists all of the files. And then we get to choose from them. Yeah, in my opinion, only spaces are better. Really? Or like, do you mean that the tabs wouldn't appear and that's good? In which case, yeah, I agree. Having to deal with tabs that a program just randomly gives out to you would be annoying, like very annoying. But the person who wrote that code, I don't know who it is, because I probably stole that code not even from Stack Overflow, but from ChatGPT. And it's been working ever since, so it works, I guess. Okay, so here you now have a list of all the files in the current directory that you can now pick from. Because if you pass something to FZF, so multiple lines, you can now choose the lines with FZF. We specify the end tag to be able to select as many as we want by pressing tab. I then use tag to reverse input. So basically it would start at utils instead of at abstractions. All of this is reverted. And then cycle, which I don't remember what does. And then from the things that we picked, we what do we do? So we place single quotes at the start and end of every single thing that we selected. So if we select when, for example, and base, I guess, we selected 2 lines, and usually in FZF it would just print those 2 lines. But basically with the thing with sed that I'm doing here, those lines, like every single of those lines is now surrounded by single quotes. And then those multiple lines are compressed onto a single line, and we remove trailing white space. And we get this. Same entire thing about dpick. So let's go to dlist, and dlist, similar to flist, just uses find. You can, like, to dlist, you can actually provide multiple arguments, like here and here. So for every argument that you specify, you find all of the, in this case, directories that are not in here, or that are not that. So it won't search object, VS Code, npm, and git. You can add more or remove more, but these are the directories that I don't want to be listing. And like, you print them all. Same idea for flist, but instead it gets all the files. So we use flist in fpick, and then we use fpick in multiple places. So we had get current file, which passes the current directory to fpick. So we get to choose from every single file in the current directory, which is what I use Control A for. But also, I want to be able to pick files and directories from basically the directories that I'm often in. It's programming, the auto hotkey path, pictures, and audio. So if I use a different hotkey, Control F, I can now pick from all of the personal files, more or less, that I have. Wait, what is that sound effect? Yeah, the extension is very, very simple. Hold up, I gotta get headphones, because I really want to know what that sound effect is. Let's listen to it. First of all, where was I? Yeah, it takes some time. Let's go to sounds, and that's exactly what I used to go great distances. Let's open it. Oh, in Explorer. Actually, remember to get the sound back, and let's listen to it.
Was that his cock?
Well, I think that was something I cut out from a stream VOD by Slimesicle when I was playing Elden Ring. What else do I have? Cool, epic. I have a lot of funny sound effects. And actually some of them are on hotkeys. Like, I can press Windows slash, I guess? Yeah. Windows slash, and then and I implemented that functionality to use that in videos, but I never really do. I should, because I find that very funny. So yeah, I use this to get all of the directories and pick from them from the most used directories that I have, and then a separate thing to be more specific to search in the current directory. So I hope that answers the question pretty well. And I find this so nice to use, rather than me typing in the path. And sure, fish globbing is better than Z-shell globbing, but still, like, this takes too long to type in when I can just, well, not that fast, I guess. Still takes some time, but way faster. Like, could you see the difference? It's huge. Where were we? We were in lib, first of all. Well, surely not conservative. Okay, imagine being trans and conservative. Like, well, I imagine there are some people like that. Whenever you think that there's not a single person of some type, there probably is. But it's so interesting to imagine. Okay, so lossless cut, we just delete it. OBS. As simple as it can be, I guess. Player. Well, the fact that it uses the wrong one probably means that I don't use it. And the fact there are no hotkeys confirms it. Yeah, it sometimes actually does that. And I don't get why. There would be some... Oh, yeah, there would be some. Period. I see. Yeah, I guess. But you're not watching Hasanabi, you're watching a random programmer girl, so I'm not gonna go into politics. Player. So what I could do, I think I'm gonna keep the class in case I make some like player specific hotkeys, and I have an idea already, making Q and A change volume. So if I'm in Vim mode, Q increases volume and A decreases it. So I want to implement that so I don't have to use Vim mode to do that thing when I'm in a player. Yeah, period. I keep touching the microphone stand all of the time. I hope that's not too loud. Screenshot. Right, screenshot. I wanted to refactor because I'm just using mouse clicks right now. So when we're in it, I'm scrolling my mouse like thing, mouse wheel, to change between modes, and the way it does that is just by clicking and moving my mouse back. What I want to do instead is make it use UIA to select these elements. I just haven't gotten to it, and I'm not particularly going to do it right now, but that is typed in as a thing that I want to do. What about screenshots? Yes, I want that and all of those. Okay, so I'll get to it eventually. Surely. Definitely. Screenshot shows. Shows has so many stuff, and by the way, I'm looking at this. Has so many things that I can only imagine all of them are useful. It's so much. But Slack, though, Slack is slacking off because I don't need it. Is there anything else for Slack? No, no hotkeys or anything. So let's just remove it and gam. Delete. I used the word delete. Delete Slack. I already deleted GitHub. I'm a monster. Spotify. Spotify should actually... Oh, no. It does use UIA and a lot, because UIA for Spotify is actually very consistent. While for the browser, for example, good job. Like rather, good luck. I meant to say good luck. Basically, UIA in the browser is very fucky. Oh, you didn't? Well, yeah, I should have mentioned it more visibly. But yeah, I'm looking at the file tree and going through stuff. Steam, which I don't have installed right now, by the way. But yeah, that's all we need. No hotkeys, fair enough. Well, maybe eventually I'll install it and play some game, but that day's not today. Telegram, that should be... Well, what do we have here? We have close. First of all, let's abstractions mouse, because it's a missing dependency. So let's go directly to Telegram and see. So I use voice, I use scroll, next channel, folder, and so on. And that's actually a thing as well, interesting. But everything else, channel, for example, it's not a thing, and neither is diary. So, okay, that is cleaned up. And I think I actually like having no new line here. Okay, Telegram cleaned. Terminal. Now that could be some... No, I guess it doesn't have any bullshit. I very much expected bullshit. And this makes a lot of sense as well. We need the press, terminal, and mouse section defaulter. So all of that is fine. VK. Right. I wanted to make a thing for reply, but I'm so discarding that idea. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck using UIA in the browser. It's so inconsistent because of the landscape of, well, the internet, really. Do I even use this or this? I might. I don't remember. Well, I guess I could look. Reply hasn't worked since... That's why M button doesn't close VK. So VK is the Russian social network. Similar to... It's essentially a combination of Twitter, Instagram, TikTok even, but it's kind of shit there, obviously. Some other stuff. It's kind of like Facebook, but much better. Yeah. So I was trying to use the middle mouse button to close the tab of VK, but it didn't close, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out why. That's why I had a hotkey that did nothing. Huh, good to know. But enter. Interesting that I don't use scroll. Now, what is enter even supposed to do? Oh, I guess send or record voice messages. Okay. VPN. Stop doing that. VPN. I keep changing what VPN I'm using. So now it's not Planet VPN, it's Express VPN.exe. Let's actually open it so we can get the correct details. Let's just press 2 and gr inside quotes. Wait, is that the correct path? I don't believe it. I guess it is. Hard to believe still. Let's gr inside quotes. And then db, or rather cb. The longer you use Vim, the more precise I feel like you want to get, and you use like complex motions, because it's actually very fun to learn to use something new. Okay, so now if I try to use my VPN hotkey, I will be opening ExpressVPN instead of the other VPN I was using. Let's actually script like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Okay, where was it? In runner. Slack, yeah. Let's redo. Well, I expected. Okay, so if I close it, it also closes the process, so that means that it works. Very useful tool. I totally will not steal and add it to command palette. Well, that's a compliment and a very nice one, but I just missed what tool you were talking about. What was I talking about just now? Sorry, I don't understand what tool you were talking about. But I can only imagine it is. Because I'm using it. Alright, let's go like full ego mode. Woohoo! My other vape charged. Oh yeah, actually this I've been meaning to make a video on for the longest time, but I haven't finished one of the things to make that video. But yeah, very, very useful. So I have this, I also have this for coordinates, and it's window info and coord info. You can just take them, they're written pretty well, I think. But yeah, V2. Fortunately, I almost said unfortunately. No, fortunately. And some other stuff, for example, for relative coordinates, I have this. I also have this. I also have this. What else do I have? I guess that's not a thing. Oh, what is this? Oh, I have an auto clicker, turns out. I keep forgetting about it because I never use it. There's like, I never really need it, but I just have it because it's kind of cool. VS Code probably has a bunch of bullshit that I don't want. Yeah, like all of these. Okay, so I don't need this, or this, or this, or this. This I actually need, or this. Reload. Believe it or not, I think I actually used that. What? Function? Method. Oh my god, that's so slow. Obviously, I mean fucking grep. Search for it. Yes, thank you. God damn. VS Code. Reload. Yeah, it's as I thought. I'm going to implement aliases, and I already have binds like the Counter-Strike console. So you can manually bind the command to a hotkey. Oh, that's cool. Oh, wow. It's like dynamic hotkeys in the purest sense, that you just add a hotkey midway. And the coolest thing about it, it disappears once you reload the script. That's so cool. I plan to also have settings profiles, but it's very complicated so far. Yeah, I can imagine. It's already difficult enough to create a project, but then implementing functionality to essentially multiply that project, that brings in complexity. But I hope you will succeed in that, because yeah, it's a very cool idea. Yeah, so reload I actually use, so do I close tab. These I don't need. Workspace, is that used anywhere? Work and then space. Thought so. So we don't need this. What about the hotkeys that I have for it? That I actively use. Press, which is a util, I think. Yeah. Utils, press. Okay, cool. And YouTube has a bunch of shit. This used to be useful, but I don't think it is anymore. YouTube. Yeah, I no longer use that. I don't even think I need the win title of Studio, like YouTube Studio. At the moment it keeps the binds, but I don't want it to. I want it to clear when you close the script, but load binds other stuff from the profile. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I would personally basically not implement something to make sure that all of the hotkeys that I set essentially during my session, they just disappear. But then I can decide to save that hotkey to a profile and it will reappear then. And then you can also delete those hotkeys. Yeah, very cool idea. I haven't yet found myself wanting that, but often with ideas, first you're like, do I really need that? But then you try it out and you understand that, yeah, actually I do, and you start actively using it. YouTube hotkeys. I always forget to include press, and I don't understand why that's the case. Okay, so we obviously need YouTube. We don't need clip send or text. Do we need paths? Or that? Or even when? Okay. Woohoo! We finished going through app. And I'm actually going to be ending stream because my voice is tired and I think I want to eat. I had a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope this combination of doing the supposedly boring stuff, cleaning up your project and talking with chat, I hope that's fun to you. I'm obviously going to be continuing because we still have a bunch of shit to go through, and I still want to. Oh my god, oh, it keeps going. Yeah, we have stuff to do still, and I want to continue doing that, so let me get push. I think that's, yeah, seeing the kid push of 10 commits is nice to see. Goodbye. Expect oh I already do, and I love it. It's a very cool vibe. Okay, but goodbye everyone. Goodbye.